welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I posted on here, so I'm just going to say welcome instead of a welcome back. My name is Charlotte. It's been a hot minute, but I thought the best way to get back into things would just be with a full week of mood reading, looking at like how much I actually read in a week. Because one of the main reasons I've been gone is because I'm working like a 9-to-5 style job now, and I was finding reading so difficult to fit in. But after July, I feel like I'm finally back in my mojo. In fact, after June, like May and June was when I started reading more. And then July, I read 6 books in a month. And I was like, okay, I'm finally like getting back into it. Let's up the ante. I miss posting on YouTube, so let's give it a go. I'm going to use my phone because I tried to film yesterday and I spilled iced coffee all over my camera. It was working fine this morning. Hopefully there'll be some clips before this bit that were from my camera. And then I went to film this clip and the lens has got condensation in. So not really sure what I can do about that. A little bit upset that when I finally start to use it again, it gets broken immediately. But it is what it is. In terms of reading, I'm starting this on a Sunday, so I have the day off. I am going out this evening. This afternoon. I'm going to Nando's for lunch. And then I'm watching Deadpool. So I'm just reading a bit kind of first thing this morning when I woke up. And then I'm going to do some more reading now. And I am reading Live, Ranch, Love at the moment by Emma Lucy. I started this morning, so I thought it would be perfect to film the day I'm starting a new book. And I'm on page 56, so I'm 16% of the way through. I'm really enjoying it. It's like a small town cowboy romance. I feel like that's given in the name. We're following Rory, which is so weird because I literally have just read Wildfire and that is our main character's name in that. Crazy. Who is from the UK. She's a wellness influencer and she is going to her great aunt's ranch in the US that she's inherited because she caught her now ex cheating on her, Colin Firth star in Love Actually. Crazy. Yeah, we're just on her journey. She's met our MMC Wyatt, who I'm assuming he's going to be our MMC. I didn't read the blurb of this book, so it's definitely giving a bit of a Grumpy Sunshine dynamic. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. The playlist at the front of the book, so good. I'm obsessed. It's definitely giving me all the vibes. Hello, it is now Monday. Yesterday I got a good amount of the way through Live, Ranch, Love. I got up like 100 pages in. I read for kind of 20 minutes in the evening when I got back from Nando's and the cinema, and I was so tired. We watched Deadpool and I literally fell asleep during Deadpool, like, which it just seems insane. Like, that is an action-packed movie. But I was very tired, so didn't read too much. And then I read a chapter on the treadmill at the gym this morning. Work is looking like it's going to be very quiet today. The majority of my job right now is just emails and phone calls, so kind of in between when nothing really is going on, I can read a little bit when I'm working from home. So that is probably the plan for today, to just read when I can, which is why I've been liking romances so much, because they're so much easier to like pick up, put down mid-chapter, like mid-page. I'm hoping to finish Live, Ranch, Love today. I think it's quite short. Like, I think I've got 3.5 hours left. 3 hours and 46 minutes it's saying. I'm going to see if there's anything after the end or if it just kind of ends. There's like another 5 pages after it ends, so I probably will count the about the author as the end. So I probably do have about 3 hours and 45 minutes left. I went to the gym this morning, so I've got my whole evening free. So I should finish this book today, which is very exciting. And then I'm not sure what I will pick up after this. Probably another Kindle romance, because that's just kind of what I'm loving at the moment. I'm loving reading on my Kindle, so we'll see, but I'll keep you updated. Yeah, I realised that in the last clip I didn't actually give like an update on how I'm finding the book. But yeah, I'm like 100-ish pages into Live, Ranch, Love. I'm really enjoying it so far. It is, I wouldn't say it's small town because we haven't really like gone off the ranch too much. It's definitely more like ranch cowboy romance, but we're not really seeing too much of the romance yet beyond like them being like, oh, like that's an attractive person. But yeah, so far like I'm enjoying it. It's a nice read. I'm liking the characters. They're a little bit different. So our FMC Aurora is like a wellness influencer and writer, which I think is just interesting. Like I quite like books about kind of influencers. I find it like interesting, and how authors, I can't think of the word, how like authors write them basically. It's interesting. It's definitely like a different take on a kind of ranch romance, which I'm really enjoying. It's like a nice easy read. The characters are fun. The plot is like moving fast enough. I feel like it doesn't feel like a slow plot. Not too much has happened, but I'm enjoying reading it. Like it's a nice easy read basically is what I would say. It doesn't feel like anything groundbreaking. It doesn't feel like a 5-star or anything, but like it's cute, it's fun. And yeah, I'll just see how the rest of it goes and keep you updated, because I don't really have much to say about it, to be honest. On my lunch break at the minute. I have gotten a lot of reading time in today. Like, this is not normal. It has to be when I'm filming the video, doesn't it? I've nearly finished. I think I've got like an hour left of reading, and when I started I had 3 hours and 45 minutes left, so I've got an hour and a half left. So I've done like, read a lot today. Anyway, I'm on my lunch break, so obviously I'm reading, but I thought I'd give you a bit more of an update of how I'm finding it. I'm finding it really cute, really, really cute. There was definitely a he falls, I guess he falls first, he falls harder element, which was really, really cute. I definitely see like the chemistry between these two. Like it kind of just, I don't know. You know, sometimes you read a book and you're like, you two just make sense as a couple. Like if I saw you two as a couple, like the way you interact with each other in real life, I would absolutely believe you're a couple. So that's really fun. It's gotten spicy, which I wasn't really expecting to get as spicy as it has, because you know, normally in a spicy book when they're setting up, like obviously Silver does this a lot, when they're setting up the guy's attraction to the girl, they like, it's always in a very sexual way, it's always in a spicy way. Whereas in this it was like, I just want to kiss her, she's so pretty, like more innocent. And then the spicy, and I was like, whoa, was not expecting that. But yeah, enjoying it. As I said, I've got an hour and a half left, so I'm 73% of the way through, so I should finish it soon. I think I've got 20 minutes left of my break, so we'll have nearly an hour left, and then just see what this afternoon is like work-wise. Maybe that I don't finish it until this evening. But yeah, definitely would recommend this one so far. It's 29. I finished Live Around Love about 7. So we're 1 book down in this video, which is crazy. This has definitely not been a normal week so far. But I'm going to sit down and pick my next read, and I don't know what I'm in the mood for at all. I don't know if I want a physical book or if I want a Kindle book. I did sit and look through Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, and I was looking at like the quotes I've tabbed, and that has made me so keen to read Magnolia Parks. But I want to do a reread when I have all of the original covers, because I have the original cover of Into the Dark, like that style. I want to get the original covers of the others so I can tab them, but I don't have them at the moment, and I'm trying to decide if I buy them in like bulk or if I just buy them one by one and then reread one by one rather than rereading all in one go. It might be a whole video, let me know if you want that. But anyway, I do need to decide what I want to read next, because I am in the mood to sit down and read. I just don't know what. So yeah, I don't think I want to do like a cowboy romance just because I've just done one. I thought about picking up Rootbound, but I was like, I don't want another cowboy romance, so I really am not sure. I am considering I can't remember what it's called, like the name of the series, but the Liz Tom Ford I'm considering the Windy City series. I'm considering reading that, but I don't know if I should skip the first book because I know no one has enjoyed it. So I don't know if I should just skip it and then maybe come back to it if I really enjoy the rest of them. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna browse my Kindle and I'll keep you updated.
If you run with me, you gotta work for the both of us. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry in the love. When you ride with me, don't gotta worry when tomorrow comes. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry now, cause we stay in control in the name of love.
My camera seems to be working again, which I'm very excited about. So there may be a little bit choppy and changing between like the audio, the visuals in this video. I'm sorry. But we have the camera back now. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I have been reading The Right Move today. I am, I think, like 30% of the way through. I'm on page 122, chapter 13. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so much more than I thought. So it is about Ryan, who is a basketball player, like very, very, very good basketball player, like one of the best in the US. And Indy, who is his sister's best friend, and she has to move in with him because she caught her fiance they weren't actually engaged. She caught her boyfriend cheating on her and she has nowhere else to go. So she moves in with Ryan, and Ryan is so type A. He's a type A king. He has his routine. He has his, like, everything has to be clean. He lives like quite a minimal life considering like he is rich, but they end up having to fake date, and it's really cute. And I actually really like how the fake dating storyline happens. It's not a spoiler because it is in the blurb. They basically have to fake date because Ryan's like manager doesn't like him because he doesn't see him as a family guy, so they end up in this fake dating scenario to prove a point. But it is definitely a bit of a he falls first situation. It is so cute. I'm so happy it's dual POV. Like, I love dual POV when this is kind of the plot line. It's really good. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. As I said, enjoying it so much more than I thought I would. I really wish that I'd started the series earlier. Yeah, definitely loving it. And I'm not a huge sports romance girly. Like, the sports romances that I have read are Let the Games Begin and then Icebreaker. And I guess you could count Carrie Soto, but yeah, like I'm not a big sports romance girl. Oh, and I guess Binding 13. But yeah, I'm not a big sports romance girly, so definitely enjoying this and really excited to see where it goes. It's a lot longer than I thought. It's still saying I've got like 5 hours and 50 minutes left, so it's 7:30 now. I've just had like an hour of doing nothing. So I think I'm gonna get a sweet treat and then read for like a couple of hours before I go to bed. So it is now Wednesday evening. So when is the last update? I think I updated last night on The Right Move. I am really, really enjoying it. Like, this is becoming maybe one of my favourite romances ever. I am falling in love with these characters and the way they are like opening up to each other and becoming so vulnerable. And there's still like a good amount of plot as well. Like, it doesn't feel too character based. Like, I don't know, you know, sometimes you read a romance book and there's not plot, there's not character development, it's just like the romance. I feel like we're not getting quite as much character development as I like. I really like in a book where like you see the characters develop and they become better people. That's something I really liked about Let the Games Begin. There's such a big focus on the individual characters' development within their romance, and I really like that. There's not so much of that. There's not as much of that as I thought there was going to be based off of like some of the things that happened at the beginning of this. So that's been a little bit disappointing, but overall I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking the way that like the characters are opening up and talking about things. And yeah, like, it is just a really enjoyable read so far. It does feel like it should be wrapping up though, and I'm only 65% of the way through. I've got exactly 3 hours left pretty much. I'm on page 266. It kind of makes sense that it feels like it should be wrapping up, but I still have like 140 or something pages to go, maybe more than that. I think 150 pages to go, so like I'm not near close. I read just over 90 pages at work today. I didn't get a chance to read this morning, and then I did read a little bit in my lunch break. I went to the library though, and there was like a function underneath the library, because the library where I work is just sort of like in the town I work in, it's just like one, it's like just an upstairs. It's really strange layout. I've never been to anything like it. But yeah, there was like a function below and they were playing really loud music and it was literally shaking the library. So I read like one chapter in there and I was like, okay, I need to leave. So I went back to the office, but then people talk when you're at the office, so. But I managed to read kind of throughout the day because it was super quiet again. This has not been a great week to film this video, since I do not normally get to read this much. But yeah, I've got very bad period pains, so I do just want to read this evening. I'm gonna go make some food now, and then I just want to curl up and get like a little bit cozy, like maybe give my room a bit of a clean, and then just light some candles and get some nice mood lighting and just be super cozy and hopefully finish it. I don't know, it's 7 o'clock now, so maybe finishing it is like a little bit strong, but make a big dent basically. Hello, it is Thursday evening and we're picking things up. It's 7 p.m. I finished The Right Move earlier today and I'm really not sure on my thoughts. So obviously yesterday in my update I was like, I'm loving this could definitely become like one of my favourite romance books ever. I am not feeling that way anymore. The last 100 pages were just a lot. Like a lot happened in those last 100 pages that just, I don't think it needed to happen. The timeline got really sketchy and yeah, I don't know. If you've read the book, let me know what you think about those last 100 pages, because I really feel like things could have been tied up like a little bit earlier on, and then it just kind of felt like the author went like we're gonna throw like loads of stuff at you, and I don't feel like they needed all that stuff throwing at them. So I'm gonna sit on my rating of this for a while because I'm really not sure, because I was enjoying it so much and I did really enjoy aspects of it. There's something really romantic that happens that to me is like the most romantic thing ever, and that did make me cry a little bit. But like the other things, I was just like, this is really cringe. Like it feels like Wattpad. Like it was just a bit too much. I don't know. But yeah, book 2 of the week is done, and then I actually decided to pick up a physical book. Decided that I needed to knock some things off of my TBR because I have spent most of the day looking at getting a TBR cut and I'm still really undecided on it. Let me know if you have a TBR cut. Rather than keeping all of your books together, please let me know if it is worth it. I think I'm going to ask on TikTok as well, because I really want one, but I don't know if I want one just because it's something new. So I'm not too sure. But anyway, I started Maybe in Another Life, and this is my last Taylor Jenkins Reid's book. I've read all of her other books apart from this, and so far I am 70 pages in. I am really enjoying this so far. I love the concept so much. I think it's so like clever. So if you're not familiar with this book, this is about Hannah, who she basically moves back to Los Angeles, where she's from, to live with her best friend and kind of sort her life out. She goes to a local bar, and then just after midnight, the friend that she's staying with, Gabby, asks if she's ready to go. But then moments later, her high school boyfriend, Ethan, is like, no, you can stay with me if you want. Like, she has the two options to choose from. And then the timeline splits, and we basically get what happens if she went with Gabby, and then what happens if she went with Ethan. And so far, they are dramatically different. And there's something that's happened already, and I'm like, is this a thing in the other universe? Like, because they're different universes. So I'm like, okay, how connected are they? And yeah, I am very interested in this. It's feeling like a really quick read because I do not feel like I was reading it for long enough to get 70 pages through. Yeah, I'm gonna go put some headphones on. I think I'm gonna sit downstairs. It was also my last working day of the week today. I work a 4-day week, 8 till 6. So we now have the weekend, but there are some things that I want to do tomorrow. Anyway, let's go and read some more Taylor Jenkins Reid. My camera is very much about to die, but very quick update on Maybe in Another Life. This is such a quick read. I'm on page 204 already, and it's only, to be fair, it's 3:45 on Saturday. But I read, I think, 40 pages this morning. I finished on like 162 last night, and then read up to 204 this morning. So I read 40 pages this morning, and then I've been doing errands for like since I got out of bed basically. So I'm gonna sit down and read now. I'm gonna try and finish this before I go to the gym tonight. It's got 330 pages, so I've got about 2 hours left of reading. So fingers crossed I can finish it before I go to the gym. I'm gonna message my friends and see what time they're heading. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I don't know how to talk about it without giving spoilers, to be honest, because the blurb is literally just, it tells you it goes in different paths, but that is it. So yeah, it's really interesting. I will say it gets a little bit confusing when you first pick it up after putting it down. Like this morning when I picked it up, I was a little bit confused about which timeline I was in when I read it first straight away, and I was like, hang on a sec, like how is this happening? We're in that timeline. So yeah, I definitely, but like when you're reading in big chunks, it's a lot easier. So I definitely feel like this is a book that's probably like better as like a book that you're binging, which we love. But yeah, I am really enjoying it. I really like Taylor Jenkins Reid writing. Like, I just think you just dive straight into it really easily. So yeah, I'm gonna go and do some reading. So last night I finished Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't have many thoughts. Like, I really enjoyed reading it, but I have no idea what a star rating could be, because I like finished it and I have not thought about it since. I didn't really think about it outside of reading it. It was interesting. Like, it's definitely a really interesting to explore the fact that, like, and there's like a kind of a speech at the end where a character says that they read in a book how you can flip a coin and it will always land on both heads and tails. And right now it could land on tails, but in another universe it can land on heads. And it's that whole thing of like, every decision you make, there are two realities to it. Like, you get the yes option and the no option basically. So it's like an interesting exploration to see how that played out and see the effect it had on the character and see the path it led her to. But beyond that, the character was a little bit annoying. There was definitely certain scenes where she really reminded me of the main character from my Year of Rest and Relaxation. And I DNF'd this book because I did not like that character. So that kind of tells you my thoughts on. But like, they weren't as bad as that character. It was just certain moments where I was like, oh, this really is reading a bit like my Year of Rest and Relaxation, how that character was. But yeah, honestly, very much struggling to come up with any thoughts about this book. It's also a really difficult book to talk about. Kind of main decision is done like 20 pages in, or sorry, the blurb only takes you up to like 20 pages in, so beyond that, like, you can't really describe the plot without giving like major spoilers. I would recommend this. I think if you like Taylor Jenkins Reid writing, you'll enjoy the story, because that's kind of what I found. But yeah, it was a good length. Like, it was 330 pages, and I think anything longer than that would have been too long, and I enjoyed it. But I think it's probably like a 3.75. Anyway, I did start my next book. So it is Saturday today, so it is the final day of our reading week. So obviously I started on Sunday, and I did start The Red Queen this morning. I wanted something that was going to be like a little bit of a quicker read. I definitely wanted like a fantasy vibe. I didn't want to start Six of Crows because I didn't want to get into a series right now. I think The Red Queen is a series, but we'll see. I didn't want to start these because I had a feeling that I would then want to read the whole series, and I was like, I don't want to commit to something like that much at the minute. A Crown of Ivy and Glass is very long, and then the other ones that I have are like Day of Fallen Night, Prior of the Orange Tree, or Five Broken Blades, which I did think about, but I just want to get more into reading fantasy again before, which is a poor excuse because I am excited about that book. But yeah, I just decided to go for The Red Queen. It is on Kindle Unlimited. I'm obsessed with my Kindle at the moment. So far I'm enjoying it. I have gone into this pretty much blind. Like, I do not know what I don't know if it's called The Red Queen or just Red Queen. I don't know what it's about. I just know that a lot of people have said that Powerless is kind of like a copy of it, so I thought it would just be interesting considering Powerless is one of my favourite books. My little stack here. I'm up to chapter 4, I think, so I'm not too far in. I am enjoying it. I'm hoping to get like an okay amount of reading done today. It's 11:30. I'm gonna film some TikToks now, and then I need to go to the gym about 1ish. So yeah, we'll see what I actually get to read today. But yeah, I'm excited to give it a go. Read another 3 chapters of Red Queen, and honestly, I am obsessed. Like, I'm loving it so much. I'm heading to the gym now, but I'm bringing my Kindle with me so that I can go on the treadmill for a bit at the end and read, because yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm loving it. The only reason I'm leaving to go to the gym is because I really need to get this leg session in, and my friends are at the gym holding me accountable. Otherwise, I would not be going. But yeah, so far, so good. Also, so far, not really getting the similarities between Powerless and The Red Queen. I feel like people are clutching. Personally. Like, I'm obviously reading it, looking out for things, and it is just like completely different. Like, yes, there's similarities, but the similarities with like every fantasy book. I don't think I've ever read one that is completely unique. Like, it's same as like a romance. I've never read a romance that's completely unique because it's a genre. But yeah, that's my personal thoughts right now. We'll see how I get on as the book and as the series continues. Hello, we are here to wrap up. It is actually Monday when I'm filming this. I wanted some time to decompress on what I read this week, really gather my thoughts. I actually took a while to do all of my Goodreads ratings, but I've got my list of notes. So I thought what we'd do is we would talk about the books, talk about the ratings, what I thought of them all, and then we would run through how much I actually read this week, because it is a lot. Like, this definitely was not a typical reading week, okay? But the first book that we read is Live, Ranch, Love. So in this book we follow Aurora Rory, who is a British wellness influencer slash author, and we basically follow her on her journey to take over, or she goes to her aunt's ranch. Her aunt has just passed away, and the reason that she heads out there is because she caught her boyfriend cheating on her when she came home from like the funeral, which is just awful. It is so Colin Firth coded, and they literally talk about that at the beginning of the book, and I loved it. So when Rory gets to Colorado, she meets Wyatt, who is the head rancher. He is the literal typical like grumpy rancher that like I feel like every cowboy romance series or like ranch series has. Like, we have Cade, we have, I can't remember his name, is it Wyatt in the Blue Rebel Ranchers? We haven't had his book yet, his book comes soon, but I feel like every like cowboy romance series there is one rancher that is just grumpy. Like, it's a thing. So Rory meets Wyatt, and we basically follow their journey on the ranch. We really go into quite a lot of like development within the characters, which is my favorite thing in a romance book. I love when a romance book, like, you actually get character development and the person like overcomes obstacles, and that is what leads them to being able to have this romance that is so amazing. Like, that's my favorite thing ever. So that was so nice to see, and I really liked the way that was done in this book. Also, it was a dual POV, which I definitely really liked. That is my favorite kind of system of a romance book, apart from Emily Henry. She does it differently, but I definitely think that in this case we needed Wyatt's POV, otherwise I would not have believed the romance. Having Wyatt's POV made me believe the romance and the chemistry, so that was great. So I did initially give the book 4 stars, and I have downgraded it to 3.5, purely because like it just didn't stick with me. I honestly went straight onto The Right Move, and then I've gone straight onto every other book that I've read this week, and I've not thought about this. When I was like preparing for the wrap up, I was thinking like, what am I actually going to say about this book? Like, I can't, there was so much that I just couldn't really remember. The one thing that I do really remember, and the one thing that I think I really liked about this book, was that the third act conflict seemed like really natural for the characters. Like, it didn't seem like, you know, sometimes you get to a third act conflict and you're like, why has this happened? Like, what is going on? It didn't feel like that. It felt very natural, and it felt like something that would happen in real life for like the characters and the struggles that they'd gone through. Like, it made so much sense, and it hit really deep. I definitely think it was foreshadowed a lot, and I just didn't pick up on that, so that is my personal bad. So we then went on to The Right Move, which is the second book in the Windy City series. I did not read the first book. I decided to skip it because I had heard so many like just not great things about the MMC, and I definitely see that from his appearances that he made in The Right Move. Like, he's not my kind of MMC. I don't think I would have enjoyed it. But this book follows Ryan Shea. I love Mr. Ryan Shea. He is a basketball player, and he is like very, very good. Like, very good basketball player. I don't really understand basketball, but I did find that this book definitely put it all in terms that like someone that doesn't understand basketball can understand. So that was really, and especially like the NBA as like a thing. So that was really, really helpful, because I feel like sometimes you read a sports romance, and if you don't understand the sport, you don't understand like the organization, it can be really, really difficult. But I did not find that with this book, so that was great. And there was an okay amount of sport in it. Like, it wasn't anything too crazy because of some of the things that happen along the way. And then our FMC is Indy Ivers. She is best friends with Ryan's sister Stevie, and Stevie is the FMC of the first book. So those two are best friends, and Indy has literally, it's the same kind of concept of what happened in Live, Ranch, Love, where Indy caught her partner cheating on her, and she now needs a place to live. So Stevie is like, live with Ryan. Ryan isn't too keen on the idea, but he gives in. The main thing that like with Ryan as an MMC is he is so focused on basketball, and also like the fear of the fame that it brings him. Like, he doesn't like bringing other people into it. Like, Ryan is literally the embodiment of the song Peace. Nothing sums that man up more than Peace by Taylor Swift. Like, it is beautifully coded. And then from those two living together, we then see them have to do a bit of a fake dating trope, because Ryan's manager basically does not think that he is enough of a family man. Like, he really doubts him being able to be a captain. He's like, you don't have a family, like, you never have a girlfriend, like, you are so focused only on basketball to the point where like it's actually a detriment to you and your team. So they end up fake dating and we follow them on their beautiful little journey. So this was a 4-star for me. I loved Ryan Shea. He's definitely one of my favourite MMCs. He loves in such a quiet way, and I really do love quiet love in books. There were some things that he did that actually just made me bawl my eyes out, and I did enjoy the book as a whole. The last 100 pages personally lost me, like just too much was happening. It was starting to feel really unrealistic. I didn't really like the way it was moving. Like that's just not what I like in a book. If you've read it, I think you'll get what I mean. I obviously don't want to say too much because it would be spoilers, but yeah, I just prefer like slower pacing, seeing that character development. I'm gonna stop talking. And then we went into Maybe in Another Life, which was my final Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I had to read. And this is based on Hannah Martin, who's basically 29. She doesn't know what she's doing with her life. She's lived in 6 different cities since graduating college, and she is still lost. So she moves back home to her hometown of LA, and on her first night home she's staying with her friend Gabby, and they go out to the bar with loads of their friends from high school, and her ex-boyfriend Ethan is also at the bar. They're from like high school loves, kind of that childhood sweetheart type thing, and they broke up when he went to college and she was still in high school. So what then happens is Ethan asks her to stay with him for a little bit longer because Gabby is leaving with her partner, and Hannah is faced with the ultimatum of if she stays with Ethan for the evening and seeing what happens there, or if she goes with Gabby. From this decision, the book splits into 2 timelines, and we see how Hannah's life plays out if she goes with Ethan and if she goes with Gabby, and whoa, they are so different. Like, it was really interesting seeing that. I can't speak too much about it because beyond that point everything would become a spoiler, but it is actually insane. Like, it did really keep me gripped. However, I did find the multiple timelines really confusing. I ended up giving this book a 3.5 stars, and I will say that is probably one of the main reasons why I gave it 3.5 stars, is because it just got confusing. I found that when I was just sat reading it in one big chunk, it was fine, but the second I was putting the book down, going and doing other things, then picking the book back up, I got confused as to where we were picking up, because the chapters aren't titled. They're not, you don't have chapter 1, chapter 2, you don't, or anything. Like, they're just page breaks. So it definitely made it a lot more confusing to figure out, like, I don't know. I think the story just wasn't sticking in my head enough to know what timeline I was on, which is where the struggle began. The last book I read this week was Red Queen. Now, obviously this video we have done Sunday to Saturday. Amazing words. So we did Sunday to Saturday, so I have now finished Red Queen. I'm not going to give you my full rating. We're going to wait until my August wrap up, but I really enjoyed Red Queen. I picked it up because of all of the comparisons to Powerless. I personally do not see the comparisons to Powerless. I see them minimally. I see them in a way that a lot of fantasies, especially YA fantasies, are going to hit those certain points. To me, it wasn't enough that I was like, oh, this is the same book. Like, they're very different stories. I would really, really recommend going into Red Queen as blind as possible. The only thing I would say to know is that this is about a world where there are Reds who are humans and they are considered lesser than, they don't have powers, and there are Silvers who are considered like the rulers, they rule the land and they have powers. That, I would say, is all you want to know, because I went into it blind and I enjoyed it so much because everything felt like a plot twist. And then I read the blurb when I was preparing for this and I was like, oh, like, I don't think some of this stuff would have hit as hard if I'd have read the blurb. So go into Red Queen blind. It is really good. It is a kind of fantasy dystopian book. If you like The Hunger Games, if you like Powerless, you will definitely like Red Queen, in my opinion. I have started the 2nd book in the series as well, which is, that says it all really, doesn't it? In terms of what I actually read, I need to double check what I read on Sunday last week because I don't have it written down. So on Sunday I read 103 pages of Live, Ranch, Love. And then on Monday I read 219 pages of Live, Ranch, Love and 17 pages of The Right Move. On Tuesday I read 156 pages of The Right Move. On Wednesday I read 150 pages of The Right Move. On Thursday I read 92 pages of The Right Move, which made it so I finished The Right Move, and I picked up Maybe in Another Life and read 162 pages of that off the bat. Friday I read 171 pages of Maybe in Another Life and finished it. Saturday I read 182 pages of Red Queen and got, I think it was just under halfway. But yeah, that is everything that I read last week summed up and the actual amount I read. As I said, last week I would say is not a normal reading week for me. I had a very quiet week at work, and I have a very my job is basically just responding to emails as they come in and phone calls, so it was a bit of a different one in terms of how much I was able to read. But if you have stayed this long on this video, thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited to be making content on YouTube again. I'm very happy that by the end of this vlog we also got my camera working, and yeah, I'm excited for some of the videos that I have to come and what I've got planned out. It is going to be exciting, and honestly I'm just so happy to be back. But that is everything from me. As I said, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon.